Orochimaru is probably one of the most disturbing and probably one of the most creepiest anime villains of all time. And his presence back inside Part 1 Naruto used to make me kind of weirded out as a kid. I mean, moments when he attacked Team 7 in the Forest of Death, wearing dead people's faces and stuff, assassinating the third Hokage himself, or taking Sasuke in as his apprentice were all some pretty dark moments and stuff back in time. Even his feminine appearance and his chalk white skin and stuff is kind of supposed to give him a little bit more of a devilish, demonic kind of look and stuff. But I kind of want to cover Orochimaru because I think he can definitely be of use in the current chapters of Boruto. But before that, I'm going to show you, try to break down his character and kind of explain his usefulness. So Orochimaru was one of the three Sannin trained by Hiruzen himself, and even kind of considered to be his favorite student at one point. He once had ambitions to become Hokage, but was beaten out by none other than Naruto's dad himself, Minato. And honestly, if Orochimaru was actually patient enough, given how the fourth Hokage was killed, and how Jiraiya and Tsunade wanted nothing to do with becoming the Hokage, he could have actually had gotten it. But he kind of drifted from the village, became a power hungry for immortality, for the Sharingan. Then he kind of became an international terrorist by joining the Akatsuki, killing the Kages, manipulating entire countries, illegal experimentation, and even starting a cult. He allegedly kind of met his end when Sasuke absorbed his power. Then, after almost kind of possessing Sasuke and stuff, Itachi had actually sealed him away, which seemed like almost forever and stuff in an eternal genjutsu, for good it seemed. And so Sasuke had actually revived him, and he kind of came back rehabilitated. On the behest of Sasuke, he actually helped turn the tides of the Fourth Shinobi War, which, saving the Kages and kind of proving his self-worth in the future had kind of granted him a little bit of a full pardon. Years later, Orochimaru would actually create two clone genetic sons of his own that he would actually grow attached to. As a villain, Orochimaru may not be as cool as Pain or Madara or as powerful as Kaguya, but in case you don't know, Orochimaru, if you're familiar with Harry Potter and stuff, the main villain in there is Voldemort. Kind of think of Lord Voldemort, but kind of on steroids. That's kind of Orochimaru's whole thing, because the whole snake gimmick and the immortality and all that stuff. Yeah. But Orochimaru, he actually has, but unlike Pain and Madara and a lot of other villains and stuff, Orochimaru had actually exceeded his goals, attained immortality, and is even alive to this very day to kind of tell about it. He's also one of the most smartest characters inside the series, and he actually created some impressive things. Some of this may be non-canon, but he kind of created Mecha Naruto. He developed cloning that was able to give him his son and create Sage Mode Snick Sage Mode for his son. He had developed goggles that can allow the user to use ocular jutsus like the Byakugan, the Sharingan, and even the Rinnegan. Even in the novels, no matter how powerful Naruto or Sasuke had kind of gotten, they both actually have turned to Orochimaru at some point or another as some sort of oracle and stuff when it comes to information. He once kind of helped Sasuke actually save the villages when people were actually going missing and then turning up as human bombs. There's even a filler arc about it if you actually want to check it out. But yeah, there's in the novelization Sasuke Sunrise. And he also helped train Naruto as an adult and helped Naruto regain his chakra in the novelization Uzumaki and the Spiral of Destiny when he almost where Naruto had actually almost lost his chakra permanently to a sickness. And with all that in mind, I think Orochimaru should be kind of more useful, or how Shikamaru is the current Kage and stuff, the current Hokage, and he's kind of struggling to defeat Code or the Divine Trees, or he's forced to kind of work with Amando, who's always got some kind of secret agenda and stuff. And since he's kind of keeping his inner circle very small and going behind the village elders' backs and stuff, I don't think it will really hurt his chances to kind of, work with Orochimaru a little bit, considering everything that's going on at this point, or how Boruto and Sasuke could have just went to Orochimaru and Team Taka after leaving the village to kind of make up for Sasuke's missing Rinnegan, or better study Boruto's karma mark. Those are just some ideas I had, because Orochimaru just feels like an interesting kind of wild card, if that makes any sense. Or since a lot of people felt that Anko was wasted and got all fat inside the Boruto era, she could actually have been written where she and every active Jonin had kind of let Naruto down as the Hokage after all the stuff with Ishiki and all that. So she kind of decided to train herself again. She can kind of have a complete One Piece transformation. How where all the characters have been can go from 0 to 100 when it comes to how fat they are or how skinny they are. Take Elevith, one of Luffy's first villains and stuff, she was like fat as hell and ugly as hell and stuff when she was first introduced, but then she becomes, well, kind of hot and stuff when she ate the smooth fruit, or like Usopp even, like Usopp got all fat and stuff at one point, after like during the Marineford stuff, during the war and all that when he got separated from the Straw Hats, and then Usopp, like, because Usopp went from like, kind of skinny to fat at one point, and then the dude kind of Usopp became a little swole. So I'm like, why can't Akko like have something like that and all that? You know what I'm saying? Like she can go from like fat to being a little bit well rounded and stuff again, like she originally was. Or maybe you can kind of get a curse mark or a Snake Sage mode like Sasuke, Mitsuki, or Kabuto, because she's the only one that doesn't have those abilities. So that could have like you could probably bring that back, or but yeah. Or she could train with Kabuto since he's kind of alive too and kind of reformed. And since we haven't seen like Anko after like the time skip inside Two Blue Vortex, I mean the idea could be on the table, So I'm just saying like that is a possible idea, free idea right here for Boruto on Two Blue Vortex. They can bring Anko back and like try to do something with her and stuff. And Orochimaru can be just as impactful as Aizen from Bleach, You know how like Aizen had like helped out the Soul Society and Ichigo against the Quincy's and Yahweh, despite all the stuff that he's done in the beginning and stuff, being a master manipulator and like doing all those evil things and stuff, But he actually came through, and they wouldn't have been able to beat the Quincy's and Yahweh if it wasn't for him. So it can be definitely the same case for Orochimaru and stuff, and I know Aizen and Madara definitely have a lot of parallels and stuff, but Orochimaru and Aizen also have some similarities too. And it's not like Orochimaru's too weak to even keep up or anything. I mean, we will probably assume that because he's an early villain, and I mean, trust me, I do kind of feel the same thing about certain other villains and other stuff like Crocodile or Enryu from One Piece sometimes, because they lost a pre-time skip Luffy, even though Enryu has like one of the most powerful devil fruits and the where he can like literally control lightning and stuff like that, which is a really powerful element. And then on top of that, Crocodile, he's definitely been scaled upwards over the years due to his history with like Mihawk, Hawkeye, and Whitebeard, which those two would easily solo pre-time skip Luffy. So it's kind of like, well, if this guy was like kind of up there with those guys, but I understand because One Piece is kind of like gone on and stuff pretty long and all that, in a sense, like like they've kind of scaled up the power scaling inside One Piece. Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, okay. The Crocodile thing kind of looks a little bit like, oh, wow, Crocodile still lost to Luffy despite these handicaps. But Orochimaru has absorbed Kabuto's Sage Power and every other curse mark ability, which is a 10 to 20 times multiplier increase each. And he was already stronger than Hibi Sasuke back inside early Shippuden, who was above a Jonin level and defeated 1,000 ninjas without his Sharingan. And remember, with Kabuto's power, Kabuto actually fought Ito Itachi and Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan Sasuke. And since Orochimaru has like a Zetsu body now, he's able to do things like Wind Release, and he's like, it's an ageless body, so that's why I said like Orochimaru truly is immortal now. So the pieces are kind of like right there. All they just really have to do is assemble it. Like Orochimaru, he's pretty much like the Doctor Doom inside the Naruto universe. Yeah, he may not be the most powerful figure, but he is definitely one of the most knowledgeable characters, and probably like I said, he's a wild card. He's somebody that you could probably like turn to, or maybe, I wouldn't say rely on or even turn to, but more so like, he might have an answer for something. He's a get out of jail free card. So that's why I think Boruto, Two Blue Vortex should tap into and stuff, like tap into some of these characters that are kind of just sitting on the shelf. And I feel like Orochimaru is definitely one of them. I mean, we obviously see like, Orochimaru's son, Mizuki, he's definitely doing stuff inside the Two Blue Vortex, and that's definitely thanks to like, Orochimaru and stuff for like creating Mizuki, developing Snake Sage mode for him and everything. So I'm like, well, why can't Orochimaru do that for himself? And also pitch in, versus Shikamaru relying on Amando, which I understand. Amando's kind of the lead researcher, and he was kind of in charge of all this karma. Well, not in charge, but he was kind of the lead scientist on the whole karma stuff or Kara stuff. So I get it. But I'm just saying it wouldn't also hurt to have Orochimaru also right there as well to like kind of balance things out. But that's just my personal opinion. Tell me what you guys think down below. I'm out. Peace.